Alright, sorry, I can't whistle. I just had to open up. I'm having trouble with all these songs being in the beginning and copyright garbage, so you're going to have to listen to me whistle and sing if that's the case. Alright, we're going to graph these three problems on a short video right now, showing the 1A, 3A technique, showing everything you'd need to show me, and seeing that it's not very bad. So here's what we have. We're looking at a general format of x squared equals 4py. And if we want to find A, which is our 1A, 3A, 5A, we need to use 1 over 4p. So if you look at our problem right there, that's 4p. Negative 4 is that value in front of y, so that represents 4p. I'm going to put negative 4 into this fraction, and now I have no letter A. It's negative 1/4. So if I want 3A, I take 3 times that, and I get negative 3/4. We're going to have harder graphs this year. Weirder fractions, they'll be flatter, more stretched. This is the second time around, so it will get a little more difficult, but relax. The next thing we need p. And to find p, we know that 4p was negative 4, so I divide by 4, and p is equal to negative 1. We now have everything we need to graph, and it only took me, probably about 10 seconds if I wasn't talking. All right, our vertex, 0, 0. It's going to start there for now. Enjoy it. Looking at the numbers, I see not very big numbers, so I'm going to go 3 in each direction. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I've mastered counting, as you can tell. All right, here we go. So when you use the 1A, 3A, 5A rule with vertical parabolas, we're going to go right and left 1 unit. So I'm going to go right 1, and then I'm going to go down negative 1/4, because that's what 1A is. Now for my next one, I'm going to go right 1 more from that point, but I'm going to go down 3A, which is negative 3/4. That gets me to the nice neat point 2, negative 1. Now you can do the same for the left side, or you can remember that they are reflections of each other. And now I have the sketch of my nice first parabola. Next up, I do need to see ordered pairs. So I need to know those values. So that's 2, negative 1. That's negative 2, negative 1. This would be negative 1, negative 1/4. And this would be 1, negative 1/4. I do need those points. Look over here on the far right, points. Next up, to get my focus, P represents the distance to the focus. Well, P is negative 1, so we're going to go down 1. So I'm going to put a capital F, and I might want to do it somewhere off my graph, let myself know what the location is, which is 0, negative 1. Next up, my directrix goes that same distance in the opposite direction, and it is actually a line, and I've put stuff in the way, so I'm going to go right through that stuff and kind of jump through it. My directrix, I'm just going to label it with a D, is a horizontal line, y equals 1, because it's the opposite of P, so opposite of negative 1. That represents graphing. I'm going to do our next one. It's going to be this far right one, because actually I got to do all three. Darn it. All right, here we go. Next one up, 12y. So I'm going to move this 1/12 to the other side, and what it does is make it 12y equals x squared. That means A is equal to 1 over 4p. A is equal to 1 over 12, which means 3A is 3/12, which is 1/4. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to use some space. P is equal to, 4p again, is equal to 12, so P is equal to 3. With A being so small, we are definitely going to see a very, very flat curve. So here we go. I'm going to count, let's see. We can adjust the scale, like making tick marks different distances as long as things are labeled. So I'm going to count a little tighter tick marks vertically. I'm going from 0 to negative 3 and 0 to positive 3. Whoops, sorry about that. All right, vertex right there at the origin. I'm going to go right 1 up A, which is 1/12. That is real hard to do on small graph paper. Sometimes drawing these by hand on notebook paper or blank white paper is a lot easier than graph paper. 1/12 is probably even closer, but I got to make it move a little bit. My next one, I go over go over 1, excuse me. I go up 1/4 now. From there, let me just erase something here. I'll put the 2 down there. So that thing barely comes up. I'm going to reflect to the left side. And it's almost a flat curve. So now ordered pairs. This is becoming a little more challenging. We know it's 1, but what did you go up? You went up 1/12. To get to the next point, it is 2, but you went up 1/12 plus 1/4. Total distance traveled gives me 1/3. Use your fraction calculator. 1/12 plus 1/4 gives me 1/3. On the other side, again, all it is the same ordered pairs, except my my x values, sorry about that, are negative. Yikes. Donuts for you. All right, last up, we got to put our focus directrix in. Here we go. Focus. P is 3, so we're going to go 3 units up from our vertex. My focus is the value 0, 3. My directrix goes the opposite way. I'm going to use green this time. There it is down here. And that is the equation y equals -3. At almost 7 minutes, I'm going to call it quits on this video. I'll come back to wrap up example 3 and do the equations at the bottom, which are a lot quicker. Miss you guys. We'll see you in a bit.